Very good. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming out. We had a great Derby weekend, which is the latest in a growing series of events and announcements signaling, I think, that our overall city's economy is coming back. It definitely is growing. We've been through the depths of the pandemic and just pray and hope that it was the depths. Obviously, there's a lot of problems going around globally with the pandemic, but the United States is not on that list right now, and we're not out of the woods. We're coming down the stretch, to use a thoroughbred horse racing analogy, and we can see the finish line, but we're not going to get there if everybody doesn't get their vaccines, which are safe and easily accessible. So please, everybody, spread the word on that. But we're pleased to see the momentum. The Derby's always been the rites of spring for North America, and this year it was particularly so with the pandemic lockdown. And we got all kinds of feedback from both inside the city and around the country about what a glorious event it looked like. So congratulations to everybody. I know our hotel industry had a really good jolt this past weekend. Our restaurants, I checked in with a bunch of them, and people are just glad to be back and seeing each other in 3D in person, and hope to see more of that. So let's all stay safe together. We're seeing a lot of good activity out at Muhammad Ali International Airport, both with more air service, 5 new nonstop routes out there. You're seeing a lot of investment taking place, continue to take place in the city. We'll have 2 new hotels opening up soon to join fabulous hotels like the Distill here. We got many more being announced. Bourbonism seems like it's just taken off from where it was already, and we've got the same great assets we've already had in our city. We're seeing a lot of our local tech companies. Glow Touch is here with us today. Vidya and Vic, good to see you guys over here. Growing, along with El Toro, Untitled, DPL Financial, Capture Higher Ed, eBlue Solutions, just to name a few. And our advanced manufacturing sector remains very strong. We were very happy to welcome Germany-based Wieland, just moved their North American headquarters to Louisville, and GE Appliances with the team over here, including our CEO, Kevin Nolan, continues to expand and invest. So that's a good thing when you take a look at the cluster growth that we've got taking place in our city. I want to recognize Marilyn Wiederwald back here, who was the longtime chief of Louisville Forward, for being with us and helping us over the years with our efforts, and Ben Moore also, who was with our wellness and aging care sector, and then all of these champions behind us that have been a big part of making today's announcement happening as well. So good things are happening, but we've got a long way to go still to rebuild our economy, but it's important to celebrate success when we have that and recognize the great partnership and a lot of hard work that goes into making success like this is happening. And I think it's particularly important. I mean, you guys are used to me talking about all the good things that are happening in the city, but it's important when it happens by a third party, and that's what we're announcing here today. So this pretty incredible announcement, because for the 5th year in a row, Site Selection Magazine has announced Louisville Forward and GLI as a top economic development organization in the country. So that's quite an achievement under any circumstances, but to earn this honor in a year that's been unlike any we've had before, I think, is extraordinarily exceptional. And with the pandemic and economic downturn, we had to focus on business retention and helping as many companies as possible survive. But then there were those that have grown also. So hats off to many in Louisville's business community for doing a tremendous job of adapting and innovating and investing in this past year, because the pandemic was not necessarily bad for all businesses. If you were in the home appliance business, it might have been a pretty good year for you, as a matter of fact. But there were significant challenges with supply chain, workforce, so lots to get through this past year. But people adapt, and they're resilient, and they're entrepreneurial, they're innovative, and we saw that time and time again. Sarah DeVasher Wisdom is going to speak in a moment here for GLI. So first, let me brag about our Louisville Forward team. First focus was, how do we get through this pandemic? And nobody had the pandemic in their business plan, right? And this thing hits a once-in-a-century type of unfortunate tragedy. What do you do? So we sprang into action. Louisville Forward did, just to help companies get through it. And they did an exceptional job administering approximately $30 million in loans and grants to help almost 1,000 small businesses get through that very difficult period. And I'm especially proud, too, during this time of our entire city, at Louisville Forward and GLI, for leaning into the calls for racial equity. When you think about what we've all experienced and are experiencing still with the pandemic and the calls for racial justice, strong cities lean into these type of issues, and strong business communities lean into these issues as well. And you've got to bring it to light. You can't just talk about it. So the work that we've done with developing a minority business incubator and supporting Buy Black Lou and its Black Contractors Network, and we're hiring a dedicated economic development manager specific to West Louisville, among many other ongoing efforts, including the work we've got going to create a more equitable economy through our Build Back Better Together initiative that will help direct the some $430 million that's coming to Louisville from the federal government as part of the American Rescue Plan. That work, the umbrella over all that work, is racial equity, and we're very, very happy to see that work start and see this mighty team at Louisville Forward get the job done and then have this richly deserved recognition here today. So I want to say thank you very much to the co-chief of Louisville Forward, Rebecca Fleischhaker, and the rest of her team. So good job, Jeff O'Brien, the other co-chair. So wonderful job to everybody on this. So now I'd like to introduce the president and CEO of our regional economic development partner, and that, of course, is GLI, Greater Louisville, Inc., Sarah DeVasher Wisdom. And I want to thank Sarah for being an outstanding partner during this challenging time, and in particular for bringing tremendous clarity and determination to this work. As I've had the pleasure of working with Sarah over this past year, she's always on task, she's always prepared, and she's always moving forward. Not a lot of small talk, just focused on results. So I like that style myself, and so we've had a great partnership with GLI. So please welcome Sarah DeVasher Wisdom.
Thank you, Mayor. It's always uncomfortable not knowing whether I can shake or not, so thank you, and I'll follow your lead by taking this little suffocating piece of cloth off that I know we're all ready to get rid of. Thank you. It's great to be with you here in person today. As the Regional Economic Development Organization and the Chamber of Commerce, I'm excited to celebrate this award on behalf of our 15 county partners. We have an amazing region with a number of assets. We are within 2 days' drive of the entire nation. We have access to UPS Worldport, and those are just a couple of the assets that we can showcase when we work from a regional perspective. And that's what this partnership is about. So for 5 straight years, Site Selection Magazine has recognized us for our collaborative work with Louisville Forward to attract businesses. But this is also the 5-year anniversary of the formation of the Greater Louisville Regional Partnership. So last year alone, we managed 47 projects in our pipeline and had 4,000 potential jobs in that pipeline. Again, thinking from a regional perspective, not only Louisville. So when we think beyond the Jefferson County line and look beyond that into southern Indiana and into Shelby County and Bullitt County, think of all the assets that we can show these companies and the greater likelihood that those companies will locate to our region. So out of those 4,000 jobs, we were able to locate 810 of them. And we are up to 49 projects in our pipeline this year, and we hope to locate even more. So it's a pleasure to work with Mayor Fischer and with Rebecca Fleischhaker in this effort, and with our other 15 county partners as well. As the Chamber of Commerce, we're also very focused on how we can make sure that we have talent in our community and how to show those companies, because that's a big driver for company locations. We are also working to create a more favorable business climate for the companies that will move here. And finally, it's incredibly important that we create an environment that exudes inclusion. And we really should have done this before the calls for racial equity. This is important. It's important to companies, and we're doing a lot around that. We just today announced our first cohort for our Minority Business Accelerator. Last year, we worked to create the Business Council to End Racism. GE Appliances is a major supporter of this work, and we're excited to be here as Kevin accepts his recognition today. But with all of that being said, I just appreciate the opportunity to join you today, and we'll turn this back over to Mayor Fischer for this exciting next announcement.
All right, thank you, Sarah, so much. And as Sarah and Rebecca can both attest, the work of these teams is not possible without the companies that invest their dollars and their people and their resources here in our great city. To those of you gathered here today, thank you. I see Brown-Forman in the back here as well. Good job there. So we really just want to say thank you for your collaboration and your passion and sometimes your patience, especially this past year. Now, I'd like to take a special opportunity to thank one of these companies, and that's been GE Appliances. The company takes its role as a company partner with the city extraordinarily seriously and celebrated not one, but 2 expansions of their own this past year. But GE Appliances, they make a lot of appliances, and they are the very best in the world at that. And yes, they invest heavily in bringing back Appliance Park in a way that we haven't seen really in decades here. But the way that they have dedicated themselves to innovation through First Build and the partnership with U of L and the city, but the way that they've dedicated themselves to the workforce development and the workforce development pipeline in our city has been extraordinary and frankly unlike what any other company has done to help us make sure that we're preparing our youth today for jobs that are going to be here tomorrow. And those jobs are ever changing as well. When it comes to innovation, the work that they did in standing up First Build was like by far best in the world when they did that, and how they continue to focus on the importance of innovation in all things, not just the work that they do at Appliance Park, but throughout all aspects of their community, and the sponsorship of the Maker Faire and their emphasis on social innovation when I speak with Kevin and the work that they're focused on is really, really important. And then finally, when we battled COVID-19, GE Appliances was nominated or asked to help us manufacture PPE for our community, and they dug right into that, and they helped out at First Build and did all types of things as well. So when we're thinking about presenting an award here today for what we call our Metro Government Partners in Performance Improvement and Government Innovation Award for this past year, it was really a unanimous choice that we wanted to recognize GE Appliances for just this numerous accolades that I just mentioned here, because they just get it done. And this award annually honors the community partnership that best supports Louisville Metro government in its journey to continuously improve and achieve breakthrough results also. Past recipients include Humana, Texas Roadhouse, Toyota, Waste Management, the Civic Data Alliance, and the American Printing House for the Blind. So GE Appliances' name will be added to a plaque that's prominently hangs in Metro Hall to thank them for their extraordinary work, and the award comes with this proclamation. Kevin, let's ask Kevin Nolan to come up and recognize him on behalf of GE Appliances. There you go. So this proc reads, in honor of GE Appliances, a hire company, as we celebrate its commitment to excellence, continuous improvement, and innovation under the leadership of Kevin Nolan. GE Appliances has set a high standard for public service through its Academies of Louisville program with Doss High School, to giving life-changing experience to SummerWorks participants, the collaborative First Build, Maker Faire Louisville, community hackathons, its commitment to providing PPE and other acts in the spirit of leveraging innovation to lift our community up. So our city is proud to have GE Appliances as a partner and pleased to proclaim them as the 2020 recipient of the Louisville Metro Government Partners in Performance Improvement and Government Innovation Award. So please welcome their outstanding CEO, Kevin Nolan.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a true honor. It's a true honor to be here representing everyone at GE Appliances. You said a lot of what I would say about what GE Appliances has been about and how we've weathered through COVID along with the city. But I think it's good we're here for site selection. And if you look at, that's how we got here. That's why GE Appliances is in Louisville. Probably, hopefully, before any of us could ever remember, GE Appliances made a decision to move all their appliances business to Louisville because of just what Sarah said, because of the location, a lot of things. But when we're here, that's not what this is about. It's about the community we're part of, and it's about what we've all grown to call home. And I know all of the appliance associates, we love Louisville. We're leaning into Louisville, And that's what the mayor says, we have to lean in. And we've done that over the last few years, and it's paid back. And I think it's a good message for businesses out there. This is a great place to get things done. It's a great place to work. It's a great place to live. There's issues like every other city, but it takes us working through those issues, being part of the resolutions, being part of, coming up with solutions. So we're pleased to be here. It's an honor to be part of this city. And it's great to see where the city's going. I think the best years are ahead for G Appliances and for Louisville. And we're looking forward to that chapter. So thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that, and all the GE associates over here for, they do a lot of good work at Appliance Park, but they're also very involved in the community. Earl Jones in particular, I want to recognize for just lots of work with the Olmsted Park Foundation, the Regional Airport Authority, and if there's something good to be done or going on in the city, it's not unusual to find Earl right in the middle of it. So we appreciate that, Earl. All right. So congratulations again to everybody. Louisville Forward, I want to thank our outstanding team back here. You guys do a great job each and every day, and then it adds up in progress and recognition like this. And Sarah, to our partnership with GLI, it's great to see it continue to grow. So thank you to you and your entire team. So you'd be disappointed in me if I didn't say, even as we celebrate here, we also want to recognize that there's a lot left to do, obviously. We've got to be coming out of this pandemic stronger than ever. Let's continue to emphasize to everybody the work that needs to be done, not just with vaccinations, but also on the march to more racial equity, to innovation, and to the future of work. And a lot of that is represented in the budget that's in front of the Metro Council right now. So as we all work forward to that, many, many other good things are going to happen here in our city. So thanks, everybody, for coming out. And with that, if there's any questions, we'll be happy to take them. Well, let's just celebrate a little bit. So I think I was told that there's a uniquely Louisville tradition. There's not many mayors in the country that if they have a sip of bourbon at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's okay. But here in Louisville, that's an okay thing to do. So our hosts here at the Hotel Distill apparently have found it upon themselves to think that we should have a sip of bourbon to celebrate, which is only appropriate here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. What do we have there, sir?
Classic old-fashioned.
Looks like it's the official cocktail of Louisville, which, of course, does anybody know what that is? It's an old-fashioned, of course. So, Sarah, would you like one? Kevin, you're going to have to come up here with me, man. I see Tim Malloy. He's hanging behind this camera, so I can't see him. But Tim is one of the owners here of Hotel Distill, so thank you for hosting us, and thank you for this old-fashioned treat. I guess why don't we'll go ahead and have a toast, and while people are masked up back here so we don't get in too much trouble. Okay? So this is only appropriate. We have a toast after this perfectly great announcement that we've had today. And to do that, our great partner, Sarah DeVasher Wisdom and GLI, is going to provide that. Sarah?
Well, let's propose a toast to a continued strong economic recovery. Cheers.